Triple Frontier is an action movie on Netflix directed by J.C. Chandler with an all-star cast, including Oscar Isaac and Ben Affleck. When a special ops soldier finds out about a drug lord's money stash in South America, he decides to call in the help of his ex-military buddies to rob the house. Sounds like a pretty straightforward job, but this is a movie, so things aren't that easy. I like the movies of J.C. Chandler. They're not exceptionally great, but they all have a certain realness to them. This one, up to a certain point, has that as well, but there's a reason why this movie's on Netflix. For one thing, there's a whole bunch of good actors in this film. Oscar Isaac, whose character Pope is more or less second in command, is very likable as always. Well, not always. And the rest of the cast are no different. Everybody does a great job. I like the chemistry between these guys. You really get the sense of camaraderie, like these men have been through some shit together. The first half of the movie is very good, the dialogue is realistic, and the script does a good job fleshing out these characters. They don't feel like machine gun wielding action movie cliches, and I appreciated the time the movie took to explain where these guys' heads were at before going to the jungle. The action is also really good, mainly the opening scene is excellent. But as far as the story goes, it's a little predictable. Because these men are not strolling out of the jungle easily. I mean, it wouldn't be much of a movie otherwise. But halfway through the story I could start to predict beat by beat where the movie was going, and that got a little old. The action scenes were still good and the acting stayed on point, but I wasn't that invested in the movie like I was in the first half. At some point I was hoping this was all a misdirect, and it turned into a Predator movie all of a sudden. It does not. The thing is, we've seen all these guys in much better action films, and I felt a little disappointed because they work so well together. But there was one thing that bothered me the most. Now, am I gonna talk about it? Yes. Is it a spoiler? Yes. Am I gonna give you a time code so you can skip it? Of course. So once these guys are loading up the money, they kept making mistakes and bad choices. And one thing I know about military guys is they have a plan for everything. If plan A fails, they have a backup plan. They have a backup plan for the backup plan. So for them to be so sloppy on the job felt a little strange, especially after making such a big deal out of Affleck's character, who was supposed to be this really good strategist. Meanwhile, he's the one that started the shitstorm. And when they finally leave with the cargo chopper, they have to lose some of the weight. So they have to dump some money to make it over their mountains. The fact that they didn't account for this was, simply put, pretty stupid. And I guess you could say that greed got the better of them. But again, these special ops guys don't take unnecessary risks. And they take a shitload of those in the second half of this movie. There was also this little side story with a female informant, but her part in the film needed to be either much bigger or much smaller. She was more or less a means to an end, and it didn't add anything interesting to the movie as a whole. But besides the imbalance between the first and the second half of the movie, and a pretty weak ending I might add, I still really enjoyed it. Plus, it's on Netflix. So, Triple Frontier is a bronze medal. That's it. I don't have anything else to add. Bronze medal. Go watch it. Oh, click on the...